What's up everybody, Jordan Sather here on March 21st, 2018. I'll actually be traveling today and I'll be away from home for a few days, so I wanted to film this video and get it out before I leave. I'll definitely still be uploading videos while I'm gone. It'll just be me from elsewhere. And then I'm going to stick with pre-recording these. Not only can you guys see and hear me better, but it also tends to make these videos a little shorter and sweeter because then I don't tend to rant. So even though I have to do a little bit of editing and whatnot, it's totally worth it for you all. And if you want to tune in for my live chats that I do on YouTube, I still do them on my backup channel. So go subscribe to not only this one, but that one as well to catch me live. But let's discuss some things regarding Q and what's going on in the news, and we're actually going to discuss Q showing up on Comedy Central last night and analyze their wonderful piece that they did on the QAnon subject. So let's begin, and we're going to start with Q's drop from last night when it came out at about midnight. As they always seem to, late in the night, Q will go on and post, and then I get to wake up. It's like Kid on Christmas, waking up to new Q posts. But anyway, this one right here says, the FBI opened a case on Q today regarding the boom statements and now the Texas bombings, coordinated to end comms here. So now a bit of background on what that means. Of course, we've had a lot of bombs going off around Austin, Texas over the last few weeks. I believe like 5 or 6 of them. And last night, the bomber was supposedly identified. Austin bomber identified as 24-year-old Mark Anthony Condit, Zero Hedge is reporting here. And apparently, as it's saying down below, Metro also pointed out that a Reddit user with the screen name Austin Bomber was suspended from the site last night after publishing a post purporting to explain Bomber's motive. So this is what's going around the mainstream today, is that this guy, this alleged bomber, this 24-year-old, was identified because of Reddit posts. And then as law enforcement officers closed in, this guy was killed in a shootout. So my mind is going in a few different directions with this. Okay, one, this guy might not actually be the bomber. He could have just been some patsy that was set up. Or maybe he even did this and was mind controlled to do this if it was, in fact, the bomber. I did a recent video on the voice of God technology that I'll make a card pop up. You can go check it out if you haven't seen it. And how there are actually patented technologies out there that use frequencies to control people's minds with. And if the CIA MKUltra program was made 50, 60 years ago, just imagine what kind of technologies they use now. But then my mind is also thinking about, well, this could be very well a plan to set this guy up and then start blaming people on Reddit or people on 4chan and 8chan as being conspiracy theory terrorists and something of the sort. You see, it's almost a weaponized phrase or a weaponized the mainstream media could go and weaponize this story pretty easily if Reddit is involved here. So eyes open, guys. Those false flags might not be over, and I'm hoping that the mainstream media doesn't start using this to attack and character assassinate a lot of people simply searching for truth. And now let's go back to the Q post. The next one says right here, MZ and RT. Not exactly sure what those mean, but MC might mean Mark Zuckerberg. Of course, Facebook has been in the news in recent days, and we'll discuss that in a few minutes here. That's what it could mean. It says, big meeting, cell phones at the door, +8, 5 were political, 1 was a former Intel director. So if this was a big meeting, of course, Mark Zuckerberg has been skipping out on Facebook company meetings, so maybe he had a intelligence meeting somewhere else in a secure location that the Q group figured out. And what is that one former Intel director? Is he a former director of the CIA? Maybe it's Brennan. Or it could be Comey, right? Former director of the FBI. Who knows? These are just possibilities. Mask and spin. It says here, of course, identify friendly insiders. MSM support plus talking points. You know, this is kind of correlating with one thing that I've been saying. All mainstream media isn't bad. We've been having certain blips of truth squeeze out through various mainstream media sources, whether it's the Daily Caller, the Washington Examiner, or Fox News. You know, I'm not saying everything that those guys report is truthful, but we're having little bits of, you know, looks to be truth seep out from these sources. And then right here it says, shift narrative, fail. Of course, we have CNN and Washington Post and all of the lying mainstream media, the deep state corporate mainstream media trying to shift the narrative when their plans don't go the way they want them. We hear you. We have the algorithm. Thank you, Snowden. So it looks to very well be that Snowden may have been cornered or cut a deal or just gave up working for the black hats, and he actually gave the white hats the code to the algorithms and whatnot. So hopefully YouTube channels like mine and my Facebook page and a lot of other truth tellers out there don't have to deal with algorithm censorship anymore. Please, Alliance, please, white hats, ease it up a little bit, I beg of you. And then check this out. Learn chess, down she goes, nobody escapes this. Absolutely, you know? And now let's discuss the drops concerning Comedy Central. Look at this. So Q is reposting a drop of his from a few days ago saying panic mode, enjoy the show. And panic mode is directly correlating to this link that Q posted from Comedy Central. Watch this. Enjoy the show, he says. Expect a lot more panic. So let's discuss. What is this link? Well, this link is to a show last night called The Opposition. And I don't even know who's on The Opposition. It's a dude named Jordan Klepper. Good name, but shitty show. I actually never even heard of this show before I saw this link posted, but, you know, it was just another one of those awful deep state propaganda shows that you find on Comedy Central. And you know, funny about that, I used to love Jon Stewart. And Jon Stewart, right before the presidential election and all of that, he got out of Comedy Central. And a lot of people were really curious as to why he did that at a time when a lot of people would be tuning into Comedy Central because of the election and the comedic gold that something like that could offer. But in my head, I'm like, man, maybe Jon Stewart actually had some heart and he knew the direction Comedy Central was going to be forced to go in, the propaganda that was going to be spewed through it. So Jon Stewart likely got out before he was going to have to be one of those puppets on Comedy Central. And it looks like Jordan Kepler here is one of those new puppets with his opposition show. But on this show, they actually had a full skit last night on it was a huge hit piece on QAnon. And I'm not going to play clips of the show, of course. I don't want to get any copyright infringements on this channel or anything, but I'm going to go ahead and link the YouTube version of it down below. And you can see here, I love this like to dislike ratio. Lots of dislikes on it. It only has 32,000 views. This video will probably have more than that in, 10, 15 hours. Shows you how hungry people are for truth, right? And as you can see here, whatever anchor is working for the opposition, he's totally trying to ridicule the subject. Here he is dressing up as Morpheus, acting like he's taking a red pill and he's seeing all these conspiracy theories. And then he goes into discussing how this QAnon conspiracy evolved. Oh, it was on Alex Jones. And the storm, as they so call it. And what he begins to say about it is completely false. As their propaganda, their psyops evolve, as they try to put them out, they twist. They put out mis and disinformation about the subject to confuse people. In this video, it's saying that Q is one person. Q's not one person. Q's most likely a group of different white hats behind the scenes trying to combat this deep state. He's trying to say that, the storm is claiming that Mueller is actually working with Trump to take down this deep state and yada yada. Maybe, this is many people's theories. It's not the theory. It's pretty weird that this piece that they did is trying to claim that there are definitive statements that's coming out from Q. And then he even tries to decode a Q piece. And he's saying that, oh, 4chan and 8chan is this hotbed of conspiracy and crazy. Here this guy is saying that, oh, on 8chan there's these things called crumbs that Q puts out there, and then the baker goes in, sweeps the crumbs up, and it's a total shit show. It's a total twist of what really goes on 8chan. I mean, you actually have to spend some time on 8chan to understand the lingo and the culture and what's going on there. You know, watching some 9-minute piece on Comedy Central is not going to give you any idea of what's actually going on. And here's my favorite part, right? So, on this show, they actually take screenshots of this Q map, right? I'm going to show you the map right here. It's from this huge map. I can't even zoom in. I actually had somebody ask me to do a video just on this, and I might actually do that to try to go over all these key words right here. But this was made by somebody that's actually in my Facebook group. So I've seen this, I've been aware of it for a few months now, and when I saw this on that show, it stuck out to me instantly that they are twisting some of the words in there. They actually doctored the words and the statements that's on this Q map. And I have some screenshots right here, and I outlined in red the words that they particularly skewed. Check this out. So right here, a screenshot, as you can see, they have, I noticed two things, actually three things that were doctored from the original version. Right here, it says Operation High Trump with the date 1917. And here's a screenshot I took from that same point on the original version. It's actually Operation High Jump. You know, if you've seen my video on Antarctica, a lot of the work I've done on the secret space program, this is a crucial piece to help you understand the puzzle of how secret space programs have evolved over the decades, and also how Nazis have infiltrated into the American government. So, Operation High Trump, 1917. Operation High Jump, 1947. They even took out the words Admiral Richard Byrd here, right? They can't be given these clues on Comedy Central. And then I wonder as well if Operation High Trump, 1917, is some kind of code or message being thrown out there. And funny that they would choose the date 1917. Just a coincidence or a synchronicity. I've seen the letter 17 around quite a bit lately. Not only in regards to this right here, but when the World Series winners visited the White House, Donald Trump held up a jersey that said 17 on it. What is 17? 17th letter of the alphabet is Q. Not only that, there was 17 people killed in the Parkland massacre in Florida, so I just wonder, I speculate, if there's messages or some kind of hidden meanings going on here. And get this one, A. Greener, and it says CIA director under him. In the actual version, it actually says Alan Dulles, who is the actual CIA director from 1952 to 1961. And in this doctored version on Comedy Central, if you look up A. Greener, there was never even a CIA director with this last name Greener. There was an agent that worked for the CIA, but he doesn't work for the CIA anymore. There was never a director. And of course they would want to smear Alan Dulles out of it, because Alan Dulles was pivotal in Operation Paperclip in bringing thousands of Nazi scientists in post-World War II Germany into America here. And then this is my favorite one here. You see? Secret space program I have circled. Here's another screenshot from that same Comedy Central piece. Secret program. Of course they don't want to put secret space program out to the public in front of millions of viewers, so let's just scrub that one word out of there. Let's just put secret program on there instead of secret space program. And then not only did they doctor secret space program out of it, but they doctored the whole word MK Ultra. As you can see here, Gulf War, Richard Nixon, there ain't no MK Ultra. But in the real version, you have JFK assassination, Richard Nixon, and MK Ultra right there under the JFK assassination. But you can see, ain't no MK Ultra on Comedy Central. So as you can see there, guys, beautiful, and by beautiful I mean very shitty hit piece done on QAnon. Some blatant things that stood out to me in watching this, they were obviously sanitizing certain words out of their screenshots of the original version of that Q map. And hey guys, this just goes to show you panic mode. This stuff is truly hitting the mainstream. So we are winning, guys. We are reaching far more people than we even realize. And this is the Great Awakening. It is so great to see. And now I just want to move on into the last few topics that I want to share with you. Facebook is obviously still imploding. Lots of news stories still going on about Facebook being under heat. And I want to point you towards a couple interesting WikiLeaks emails that came from the Podesta emails, actually. This one here is from John Podesta to the COO of Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg, who is one of those Facebook executives that are taking some heat over the past few days. Look at this. Wishing you a happy new year. 2015 was challenging, but we ended in a good place. Look forward to working with you to elect the first woman president of the United States. If that's not some collusion and some serious illegal issue right there, I don't know what is. And then another email from Sheryl Sandberg and John Podesta each. This one coming by way of Fulcrum. I found it through them on Twitter. Shout out to Fulcrum and David Seaman for this one. But look at this. So from Sheryl at Facebook.com to John.Podesta. Look at this. I still want Hillary Clinton to win badly. I am still here to help as I can. Facebook obviously showing no signs of bias. She came over and was magical with my kids. What does that mean? I'm gonna go ahead and actually link these emails down below so you can read them for yourself and see what kind of weirdness is going on there. And then look at this. Of course, we've had Google and YouTube hitting the airwaves regarding their censorship and their banning, their burning of the books, if you will. But check it out. YouTube says it'll use Wikipedia to police videos. Wikipedia says it didn't even have any idea. And then a statement put out by Wikimedia says, we're always happy to see people, companies, and organizations recognize Wikipedia's value, but check it out. Wikipedia nor Wikimedia Foundation are part of a formal partnership with YouTube. We were not given advance notice of this announcement. So just like I'm saying, guys, we are winning. We are doing much more damage than we realize. These guys are in such cover their ass measures that they're putting out announcements and statements and saying these things, and they're not even getting approval from various people in these so-called agreements. It's like they have to rush these pieces and these articles and these things out to the public because they're in such panic mode. And again, featuring True Pundit for this one, but not so much in a good light. I have a few words on this. Their article is saying DC lawmaker blames Jews for bad weather. Remember, I mentioned this in my video yesterday. This is the DC lawmaker who took the video mentioning the Rothschilds and climate engineering. In that video, he never even mentioned Jews. But that's what's going around the mainstream propaganda, is that this guy is some anti-Semite and he's blaming Jews and being some kind of, racist or Jewophobe. But he never even said Jew in it. And I'm seeing this go around even the alternative media, for instance, True Pundit here, and I saw Jack Posobiec tweet this on Twitter, is that they're falling into that Jewish mind control trap. It doesn't have anything to do with Jews, but it has everything to do with Zionism and the Khazarian Mafia, because they have ties directly into the deep state. Real Jews completely dislike Zionism because they know what kind of evil is perpetrated there. Real Jews are great loving people. This really doesn't have actually anything to do with Jews, period. It has everything to do with the Rothschild banking family, which claim to be Jews just so they can conveniently use the weaponized term anti-Semitic and keep themselves under the radar, right? And then we have Seth Rich in the news again, so check this out. Lobbyist almost killed by man he hired to help him investigate Seth Rich murder report. This being an article I found on the Washington Examiner. So again, guys, Seth Rich is not going out of the news. He is a pivotal piece that if the truth was revealed about his murder, it would completely annihilate plenty of the deep state. The Clinton Foundation, the Podestas. Remember, Podestas wanting to make an example of a suspected leaker. So It's good news that we have Seth Rich continuously getting light shown upon him. And then last thing I want to talk to you guys about is this right here, the Senior Executive Service. So I've seen a lot of people beginning to discuss this, and I'm going to link this article down below so you can educate yourself a little bit on what the SES, the Senior Executive Service, exactly is. And right here, I'm just going to read the first couple sentences to give you an idea. The Senior Executive Service consists of federal employees who report directly to presidential appointees. Okay? These leaders are the link between politics and administration of the U.S. federal government. So we're beginning to see the nitty-gritty of how this deep state operates, how the shadow government operates. Right there it says they report directly to presidential appointees. So this SES, the Senior Executive Service, was actually set up around 1979, 1980. So it could have very well been some operation by the Bushes or whatever factions were in control at that time to really get a hold on the federal government and politicians. And imagine Bush or the Clintons, they have really been the only ones in office the past 30 years, sans Obama, but they get into office and they appoint who they want in their cabinet, and then the SES are those federal employees who report to those appointees. So it's this complete control mechanism. It's like a full spectrum domination that they're holding on the political spectrum, on the government spectrum, you know, and it's pretty disgusting, but it's also pretty neat to see the actual details of how all of this is operating. And then I'm going to reference here a Twitter thread by @InTheMatrix. This guy here, I just came across this. It was some good work of his discussing the SES and how it's a CIA operation, or could very well be linked with it. And he's posting some documents that actually came from FOIA requests that were on CIA's website discussing how they are connected in with the Senior Executive Service. And then check this out right here. SES is the keystone of the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978. And that's according to the SES website. The SES, the Senior Executive Service, is calling themselves the Keystone. Remember Q? He was asking, what is the Keystone? Now, of course, multiple meanings to what Q drops. And there have been some references to what Keystone could mean, some references that Q himself has said. But right here we get another meaning to Keystone. Senior Executive Service, the keystone of the Civil Service Reform Act. And then as somebody noted, the Senior Executive Service, their literal logo is a keystone. Future proving past. Guys, we are seeing the nitty-gritty, like I've been saying, come out to the surface for all eyes to see. And that is the beautiful thing about this Great Awakening. So I'm going to continue doing some digging and some reporting into the Senior Executive Service and how that connects to everything going on and what's gone on over the past 40 years. Good thing that Seth Rich is still in the news. Remember guys, it's not a Jew thing, it's a Rothschild thing. And all of this going on is just misinformation. It's twisting of the truth. Wikipedia not even realizing that YouTube's saying that they're going to use them. Facebook being out, and the WhatsApp founder actually even said that people should delete their Facebook accounts. Ha, that's funny. And then Red Pilled, The Storm. Hope you enjoyed my deconstruction of this BS reporting on Comedy Central. So anyway, thank you all for supporting and sharing and commenting and liking and subscribing and donating and doing everything that you all are doing to support me and to help get these messages out to help continue this Great Awakening. Truly panic mode, and we are seeing it directly. And I'm excited for a lot more of this stuff because that'll just get me more material to analyze and deconstruct on this YouTube channel. I'm not going away anytime soon. I gotta head out and go catch a flight. I'll be checking in with all of you guys very soon here. Peace!